Hello YouTube. Today in Solo Leveling Arise we received a new hunter called Meilin Fisher, and if you're wondering should you summon for her or if you already summoned and are wondering what's the best artifact set to use her and what's the best sets, main stats and substats, then I'll try to help you out and guide you a bit. So let's see what she does. Okay, so Meilin Fisher, basic attack, precasting. She swings her whip and deals HP damage, so she's going to be an HP scaler. So far, HP scalers have the worst artifacts. They have less artifact sets for them, so it's a bit more restrained in what you can choose, but let's see what she does before we talk about artifacts. So she scales off HP on her basic attack. Her core attack also scales off HP and just an attack that deals water damage and inflicts airborne effect. Nothing special. Let's start with her basics. Basic skill, rear lash. She swings her whip down on top of enemies, then throws them into the air and pulls them towards her. She deals HP damage, 8 seconds cooldown, water elemental damage, and when it hits, it inflicts airborne effect. When skill hits, it instantly restores HP to all team members equal to 5% of Meilin Fisher's HP. So, she's going to be a healer. For now, what we know about her is that she's going to be a healer. 5% of her HP, not much, but in this game the healers aren't supposed to instantly restore your HP. I'm just there to make sure you don't die and help you out when you're low HP, maintaining your HP at least above a certain threshold. So her basic skill, first basic skill, is a healing skill. Her second healing basic skill, Up. She jumps and summons giant berry paws, it's her cat paws, that come together to strike enemies, deals 600 of the user's HP. This is the only skill that she has that has a decent scaling, a decent damage scale on the ability, so if you're going to build for damage, this is the only skill you really care about for damage from their basic skills and basic attacks. It deals water elemental damage, inflicts the airborne effect, and when you use this skill it grants the so cute effect to all team members. Okay, we have a buff. And when skill hits, removes the target's shield. The shield, it's not the break shield, but the shield the bosses and some monsters create, especially in the new game mode. There's a couple enemies that have certain shields and she helps you remove them. It's not really important, so you don't need to summon her for that reason alone. So it's just a nice quality skill effect, so when you're fighting shielded enemies, she's going to help you remove the shields faster, which is always nice. And the buff increases core attack damage by 8%. Okay, so just from this alone we can already see she's going to be good with Alicia and Silvermane back. They both like to deal most of their damage from their core attacks, so a hunter that increases core attack will always be good for certain units like Silvermane back and Alicia. If you main them, she might be a good pickup for you. If you don't really play them, then for now you can still skip her if you don't really care. But let's see what she does more. Special skills, Help Berry. Support skill, this is the skill she uses when you're playing as Sang Jinwoo. It deals water elemental damage, removes shields as well, and when it hits she heals 48% of her HP. So again, she also heals Sang Jinwoo. And when she uses the skill, it grants the berry and pumped up effect. So what's that effect? It increases your attack by 16%, increases Sang Jinwoo's attack by 16%, and the damage taken reduces by 16%. So she gives 2 buffs to Sang Jinwoo, 1 attack up and 1 damage taken down. Always good to have more than 1 buff on a special skill, so her value is increasing a bit. Now let's go for her skill, the Cat Rush, the skill she uses when you tag into her. She deals a bit of damage, scales of HP, and it inflicts airborne effect, nothing special. Her kitty skill is just tag into her, deal a bit of damage, and that's it. Nothing special right now. Let's see her ultimate, Big Meow. She reels Barry in and flings him up high. Barry does a belly flop and crushes everything around him with his huge kitty tummy. Deals 1000 of his HP. Of course, the ultimate was the only thing that deals damage on her entire kit, apart from her second basic skill, but it's ultimate, so it's higher. So you can also deal damage through her ultimate. And when you use the ultimate, it knocks down and increases, and grants the pumped up effect to all team members. What's pumped up effect? Okay, so it increases the user's attack by 8%, increases the user's defense by 8%, increases the user's critical hit rate by 8%, increases the user's core attack by 8%, and decreases the user's damage taken by 8%. Okay, so she gives 5 different buffs with one ultimate, which is absurd. I think there's no other hunter right now that gives as many buffs as she gives. She is giving 5 different buffs from her ultimate alone. Her skill gives you another buff to core attack, so if you use her skill and your ultimate, she gives 16% buffs to core attacks. Critical hit rate is always an amazing buff. Every hunter wants crit rate except for Choi, but the crit rate is capped at 50% from artifacts, so any skill that gives more than 50% crit rate lets you go above 50% crit rate is always valuable. So just from her ultimate alone, she is already worth to summon. If you want to have a buffer, of course. If you have good damage dealers and don't care about buffs, you don't really need a buffer, but it's always nice to have a buffer, especially when you're using Alicia as your main damage dealer, or Silvermane back, she heals him and he's always low, so it's worth it to have an healer. And increases attack and crit rate for him as well, so it's always good. And decreases the user's damage taken, since he's always low because of his own drain. Getting damage taken reduction is always good for Silvermane back, so she's going to be one of his best supports. So Alicia and Silvermane back will love Meilin Fisher. But overall she's really good. Defense increase, there's not many hunters that buff defense, so defense scaler hunters will like her as well. Increase defense and the critical hit rate, they will appreciate that buff. But she's mostly for attack percent scaling units and core attack users. So let's see her passive. When Rear Lash or Cat Rush hits, it inflicts the Cuddle Puddle effect to target. Rear Lash is her first basic skill and Cat Rush is her tagging in skill. So when you tag into her, you get the Cuddle Puddle effect, and the Cuddle Puddle increases your water damage by 8%. So with her first skill and your tagging in skill, you will increase your water damage by 8% for 16 seconds. It's not stackable. When you use one or the other, you increase damage by 8% for 16 seconds. When you use the side whip or up, side whip is the core attack and up is the second basic skill, the only one that deals damage, or tags out, it grants the By Meow effect to all team members. By Meow increases the attack by 8% and defense by 8%. Okay, so she's going to give even more buffs when you tag into her and when you tag out of her. So overall she's going to buff attack, defense, damage taken reduction, core attack, critical hit rate, which is a whole bunch of buffs. There's not any other hunter, I believe, that gives that many varied buffs. So she's going to be one of the most versatile hunters you can have. She can fit in any team. Of course, if your hunter only scales off HP and doesn't really care about core attacks, then it's not going to be the best support for him, but at least she gives crit hit rate, which is always important, so she's going to be good with anyone. So overall she's going to be a good hunter to have in your account if you care for a buffer. If you don't care for buffers, just want the main damage dealers to hit hard, then she might be a skip, and in this game you have always the chance to pick her up again on the selection draw, so it's not really necessary to summon her when the banner is out. The only good reason to do that is because it's targeted for her and because you can get her weapon from the event, and it's always worth it to have the weapon of the hunter for free. At least you don't have to waste weapon crafting materials to obtain the weapon if you get it through the event. But you can still get one copy without summoning for her if you just do the daily missions on the DICE event, so whenever you get her from selection draw ticket you can always have the weapon ready for her. So if you skip her, you can always get her later if you see that she's going to be completely busted and everyone is using her. But now that we saw skills, what does her artifact set she wants and stats? So in my opinion, I think there's two good sets for her, and Destroyer being the one I think it's the best. The other set that she's going to be good with, not considering the new sets that arrived, the level 73 sets, will be the ones you probably want on every hunter whenever you can farm them because of the raw stats alone. Just from raw stats they give you way more stats than the level 55 artifacts, so later on I'll probably make a video telling which artifacts are best for which hunters, at least in my opinion what I think will be the best artifacts for the best hunters, for the hunters. But for now it's still early, it's still hard to get the new artifacts. I only have a couple artifacts from the shop, the new event where you can salvage your artifacts to buy a set for anyone you want. I put it on Sangjin Ho because its raw stats alone are worth it, so I put it on Sangjin Ho, but later on you probably will have every hunter with the new artifacts. So for now I'll talk about level 55 artifacts alone, and the set I was talking about is the one hit kill set, because it decreases the ultimate skill cooldown by 40%. So as we saw, she's going to be a buffer and her damage is mostly on her ultimate and her second basic skill, so you want to use the ultimate as much as possible. So you either get more power gauge acquisition or you get decreased ultimate skill cooldown. The issue with the decreased ultimate skill cooldown is that you need to have her on the field to get the power gauge acquisition for your ultimate, and she's not really a main damage dealer, so she's not going to be on the field for that long. In that case, you rather have the destroyer, because the destroyer increases your power gauge acquisition and also your team's gauge acquisition, and when the battle starts you have 50% power gauge. So when you're tagging to her, she's most likely going to have her ultimate up, so you start with a hunter, tagging to her, ultimate, skill, yada yada, tag out to Alicia for example. Alicia uses her damage, deals her damage, tag out, go into the next hunter, deal damage, remove shields if it's your shield breaker. Whenever you remove shield, tag into Meilin Fisher again, use her skills, maybe you have to hit a few times to get the ultimate, ult, tag out to Alicia. Alicia's probably have ultimate ready because of the power gauge acquisition buff from the destroyer set on Meilin, so, and the ulti again. This is how I think it's going to be the best way to play Meilin Fisher, but if you have better artifacts on the one hit kill set and you're using another hunter with the destroyer set, you can use the ultimate skill cooldown reduction from the one hit kill set on her, just so you can spam her ulti as much as you possibly can. For accessories, again, just talking about level 55 because level 73 and above it's still hard to get. So for accessories, I believe the best one will be Outstanding Connection. She's going to be a support and a buffer most of the time, so you want a set that increases your team's damage. If you're playing with non-attack percent scalers on your team, you can switch this set for any other set, but if you play Alicia, Silver Main back, they will want the attack bonus. If you play Shaheen with her, she's going to buff Shaheen, crit rate up, attack percent up, it's good on Shah, so with Outstanding Connection you will have even more buffs for your attack percent users, and with the first set it decreases by 28%, so I believe this is going to be the best sets for her. Destroyer artifacts and Outstanding Connection accessories. For stats, main stats, you want HP, she scales off HP, so additional HP or HP percent, and on the bracelet water damage. On the boots, you can choose. If you just care about healing and buffs, don't care about healing damage with her, I would say HP percent scaling boots is the best option. And if you want to deal damage, because in this game every hunter should deal damage, you will want critical hit damage main stat with preferably crit rate on substats to get to 50% crit rate, and that will be it for her. Basically her substats will be HP, crit rate on the artifacts, crit damage on the accessories, and healing even increase. It's worthless most of the time, but it's not bad on her because she heals. And that's it about her artifacts and skills. So if you are interested in playing as Meilin Fisher, that's how I see her looking like, and I see her best artifacts to be and her skills, what they do and what you want to focus on considering what she does. And that's going to be it for today's video. If you like please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!